Or reasonable expectations for monogamous dating are compromising. Definitely will be compromising. Working to keep things alive. Things are never gonna always just be honeymoony, phasey. That makes sense. Them being attracted to other people and space. Before proceeding with this video, I highly encourage you to watch my part 1 where I discuss 4 expectations that I think are unreasonable, which one of them, which is financial, might really shock you, so check that video out before this one. I also do want to mention that I am not a relationship expert. I just am someone that has been in a monogamous relationship for almost 4 years and have a couple friends that are also in monogamous relationships. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on here, have a conversation and figure out how is it that we did what we did, and how is it that some of you that are in monogamous relationships or have knowledge about your friends, like, we just kind of need a guide. And I feel like there are more folks in the community that want to be in monogamous relationships than we think. So I just wanted to start those conversations and give some encouraging tips and just help each other out. Compromising. Oh my God. Now, obviously you're going to be compromising, but I don't think you realize to what extent. Everything can become a compromise. Everything can become a discussion. And I think that there is a period where it gets overwhelming, but I think it's not that it's overwhelming. I think it's just more so you haven't realized how to make it work, if that makes sense. It's like a fine oiled machine where me and my partner are at now, and that might change in the future, but we've gotten to a place where we don't even need to have long discussions to figure out where the middle is, or we no longer realize that we're like compromising, or we no longer feel that we're taking a big chunk out of ourselves to do what the other person wants to do. So if you are interested in dating monogamously or are looking for someone and want to be in a monogamous relationship, please make sure you are ready to have these conversations. Please make sure you are ready to realize it's not just you in the relationship, it's 2 of you. And you're gonna have to meet in the middle for a lot of things, whether that's whose house we're going back to for the holidays, whose parents are going to stay for this holiday, whose parents aren't coming up, which destination are we going to for vacation. I mean, those are very trivial, but it gets down to what are we doing this weekend? Who's cooking this dinner? Why am I always cooking? Who's cleaning? Why didn't you do the laundry? It's little things like that, that if you are not ready to have a conversation and figure out what the middle is for the 2 of you and keep doing that until you get to a place that it's almost like automatic, which just encouraging you that it does get to a good place of being automatic, but it doesn't initially start there. It takes a lot of just getting to know that person versus, I feel like, example, being in an open relationship, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I've noticed that I have one of my partner's friends that is in an open relationship, and for them, whenever things get tough or whenever the person is too needy or too whatever, they jump ship and they find somebody else to add to how many other guys they're dating. So from my experience, from my perspective, it's a little bit different in open relationships where you don't necessarily have to deal with that. You can kind of just go to another partner, or you have more than one option, or if one person falls off, it's like, well, I have this other person. Being in a monogamous relationship, I feel like there takes a little bit more commitment to just that one person. There isn't any like rebound or balance or another person to go to if this person isn't necessarily, I don't know, giving you what you want. And definitely, if you are in an open relationship, would love to hear your perspective. But monogamous dating is different. It takes compromise, it takes work, it takes conversation. And that leads me to my next point. You have to work to keep things alive. Over time, our relationship has definitely not fizzled out, but it's had a lot of like ups and downs, and that's just natural from what I've heard, what I've learned, and what I've listened to and my friends. And it's just like, yeah, that's normal. It's not like it's almost like the seasons in the year. It has its seasons of like just a lot of fruitfulness, a lot of togetherness, a lot of funness, but then it also has its seasons of I need space, this is going on, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressful. And I think that's what's beautiful about them, because we allow our partners or the person that we're dating to go through all that stuff, not judge them, not leave them, not run away, just love them and support them in the best way that we can. But that takes work, and it takes time, it takes conversations to be like, well, I'm feeling feeling a little bit of distance between us, and I miss your presence and I miss our quality time. And I feel like you're spending way too much time with your friends and other people. Is this still the relationship that you want to be in? If so, can we do something to bring that bond together? Can we take a trip? Can we start doing date nights again? Can we stop doing so much things separately? And that takes work. And it also takes a lot of just checking in with yourself and knowing how you're feeling and what's going on with you. Them being attracted to other people. This was a weird one for me, but I think that this came more so from myself, where I started to notice that I was attracted to other people and I started to question, is this the relationship for me? But then I got to a place of like, well, I'm an animal for one, and I can be sexually attracted to other people, but that doesn't mean that this isn't gonna work. Being in a monogamous relationship just means that you choose to just be with one person, and reasons why, I'm actually gonna make a video about that, but the reasons why is just that it kind of further instills the bond for me. From my experience, that bond is just so much more deeper because I'm just focused on one person, building with one person, and we're sexually intimate with just each other. So our bond, our connection, the way we relate is just so much deeper than anything that I've ever experienced, and it's a beautiful thing. Versus if I was kind of like hopping around, like when I was single, it was kind of hard and just difficult to kind of build a bond with one person because you didn't know where they would go or how long it would last, if I would want to last with it or if I would find something better. And I started to wonder, am I going to be able to commit to this one person if I am attracted to other people? But I think that's something that you can expect and that you should expect, is your partner will be attracted to other people, but that doesn't mean that they're going to run off with that person and leave you behind and no longer want to be in a relationship. My fourth and final expectation is space. And I think that this is important because, like I always say, you're two individuals that are coming together to love and support each other. So giving each other your space to figure out who you are without each other. Always being together, that enmeshment, it can feel great, but at the same time, at least for me, it can feel kind of confusing. It can kind of feel like, I don't want to do what you want to do today. I want to do what I want to do today, and I actually just want to do it by myself. And I think that that is because you're an individual person, and you shouldn't and don't always, pointing back to the first tip, have to compromise. Even in a relationship, there should be space and time to be by yourself, to be alone, to do what you want to do, to spend time with just your friends and not have your partner there with you. And I think space is a reasonable expectation that you should expect in a relationship, a healthy one, interdependent one, because yeah, you'll get to know who you are. You'll get back to who you are and what you want to do and how you want to do what you want to do. And then your partner comes to support you. They're not doing it for you. They're not doing it with you. They're just loving you and asking, what do you need and how can I support you? I also think that this makes compromising a lot easier when you actually give your partner space. It makes it easier when you do have those moments where it's kind of like, oh, this has to be a compromise. And it's like, I don't mind compromising because I just spent so much time by myself. I just want to be around you and in your presence. So yeah, I just thought about that in this moment, but they kind of like go together. Learning to compromise and being able to compromise in a relationship is easier when you give each other enough space. So please let me know what you think about these 4 expectations that I feel like you should expect in a monogamous relationship in the comments below. I am eager and excited and interested to chat with you all below. On that note, remember to be the change you wish to see today. Take care.